Hello, fellow YouTubers. This is Bill McFadden from Tone Pure Music. And in this video, we're going to take a look at the Stoic theme by Thomas Newman in the movie Shawshank Redemption. And so let's go ahead and take it groups of measures, 3 or 4 measures at a time, and we'll analyze what's going on in the cue. So here we go. So in the first 4 measures, we have this ostinato, which will continue through the cue. And if you'll notice, we have 2 flats. So we're actually in the C Dorian mode. So the way to get the Dorian mode for any key is you just go down a whole step and use the key signature for that major key. So B flat has 2 flats. And so if we use those 2 flats, E flat and B flat, starting with C, we have the C Dorian mode. So we're going through this ostinato, and let's take a look at the ostinato as it continues. So there we see the melody starting to come in. So in measures 5, we actually, with this ostinato still going, notice we have basically those 2 notes together give us a C ninth. And then we go to an F chord, but we're omitting the 5th. And then to a G minor, omitting the 5th. And then when we hit the B flat of the ostinato, we're actually forming a B major 7, omitting the 3. So we see that Newman is omitting the 3rd and the 5th consistently in this cue. Now notice in measure 7, we actually break out of the C Dorian mode, and we actually have an accidental. So there's our F, omit 5 again. So let's take a look at the next few measures in the cue. So starting at measure 7, as we see right here, let's go ahead and look at the next few measures. So we're hitting this C major chord here. So that's to measure 10. So let's take a look at what's going on in actually 8 through 10. So in 8, we have a G minor, omitting the 5th. And then the B flat, major 7. And then we're adding in a little melody at this point. So then we go to a C11. Because here's your 9th, here's your 11. and then the F. We have the A in octaves there. And again, we're omitting the fifth. Then we go and measure 10 to the G minor, and we're adding a 9. So and there's the B flat major 7 again, omitting the 3. So we see a lot of that omitting the third to make it a little ambiguous as to whether it's major or minor, which gives it more of an ethereal kind of feel. So let's go ahead and take it from measure 11. Actually, we'll start at 10 for a little context. So here's 10. So that was through measure 14. So measure 11, again, we have the omitting of the third. So again, we have the E flat, so we're in the Dorian mode. So we see we have the C9 omitting the third. This time we have an F7, G minor, and then a B flat major 7 again, and then a measure 13. Another, again, we're repeating the C11, omit 3. We're also corresponding omitting the 5 and the 7. We're just including really the 9 and the 11. And then there's that F again. And we're actually omitting the 5 there. Oops. So there's your B flat. So that's measure up to 13. Let's take a look from there where we're going. So starting at 14. Okay, so that takes us to the end of 16. So let's take a look at 14 through 16. So there we have a G add 9. And here's your 9 up here. And then we go to the B flat major again. And notice we're omitting the third. We have the fifth. And then C9. Little melody line. Transition. There's your F7. G minor. This time including the third. Little melody. There's your B flat major 7 again, this time with the third. And then let's take a look at 17. Okay, so 17 through 20. The brass comes in at 17. So now we have the C minor chord. Then we go to an F. Then the melody line. Then just B flat, but this time we're doing a suspended sorry, E flat. So why is it suspended? Well, here's your ninth right here, because here's your B flat, there's your 2, or an octave above your 9. And then here's your suspended right here. This would be the 4th note of the B flat scale. And then the A relative to the B chord is your major 7. So that's why it's a B flat major 9. And then we have a C7 suspended. So there's your suspended for your C, 4th note of the scale. And then we have an E flat add 9. So here's your so there's that. There we have an F7 and we're omitting the 5. So again, he's omitting 3s and 5s quite a lot. So that's measure 19. Let's go beyond 19 to 20. Back up. So there's the beginning of 20. So if you notice, a harp came in at that point. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next few measures. So at 20, we have the G minor again, the B flat major. Now we have a C5, no 3rd. And then we have a little bit of dissonance here. It's an E flat, flat the 5. So your 5 in the E flat chord is B flat, so we're flatting that, including the 3rd. And then we're doing the same kind of thing with the F. Little dissonance. So there's up to 22. So let's go ahead and take a look at 23. Okay, so we went up to 27 there. So in 23, we have the C5, no 3rd. So here we just have an E flat over G, and then a D minor over F, and then we're at a C minor in 25. And then here you have, so that's part of the melody. And then we go down to an E flat major 9. So there's your major 7 right there. So you have some dissonance. So now there's the 9. And it's actually an octave there. And then, so that's measure 25. And then in 26, we have a B flat, add 9 over F. So in the melody line, which actually is many of the notes of our ostinato. So a melody line there. And then we have some contrary motion going on. Actually more parallel because we're doing and then in the bass. And then we have a C at 4 sus2, so we actually have so there's your C, here's your second and your fourth in the C, so there's basically a sus2 add 4. And then we're going to this time we have an F, like we've seen before, omitting the fifth in this case. Then the G minor again. And so really G minor 9. There's your minor, there's your 9. And then back to the B flat major. 7, omitting the 3. So that's up to 28. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening after that. By the way, in the cue, we have this shipment of prisoners coming in. And all of the inmates are walking towards where the bus is going to deliver the prisoners. And then the captain of the guard, who basically is the main guy in the prison, other than the warden, will be meeting the prisoners. So here we go. Let's go ahead and take it from measure 29. So there you see the guy that's sort of motioning for the bus to come forward. He's the captain of the guard, the right-hand man of the warden. And you see the cue actually becoming more dramatic. The brass are coming in to highlight the gravity of the moment. So let's go ahead and take a look at the score from measure 29, where we left off. So here's 29. We have a C sus2 again. Basically, we're just, and then on the F7, which we've seen before, G minor. And then a C major again. So we're deviating from the Dorian because we have the major third. Then we have an E flat, which is still in the scale of C Dorian. Then we depart from it. Now we're to D flat major. So we're at a D Dorian entirely now. Actually, that's a B flat. B flat 9 omit 3. And then in measure 33, we're at the and then we go to an E flat, add 4. So basically you have and we have an E flat. Again, we're out of the scale of the C Dorian. So adding a little bit of dissonance there. So let's go back to the clip. We left off at 32, so we actually covered 33 as well. So let's go ahead and take it from where we left off. This would be 33 now. Okay, so we're just about to the end of the cue. So in 34, we have the D flat, and then we are down to a B flat, And we've actually added the 4 and the 9. So here's the 9 here. And then here's your 4. That's the 5th. And we're omitting the 3rd. And then in 35, we're back to we're at our C major, omitting the 5. Then we go to an E flat. And here's your 9. Then here's your 6. And then in measure 36, we are back to the D flat again. So you actually have your 4th, here's your 4th and your D flat. Everything else is D flat. And then we go down to a B flat. So here's your 5th, here's your 9th, and you're omitting the 3rd. And then as we see, then the ostinato just continues as it did originally. Sort of leads you out of the cue with the same way it started. So let's go back to measure 36. And there we have the completion of the cue, where the captain of the guard is approaching the bus and ushering in the newly found prisoners. So this is Bill McFadden. If you like this video, please click like. If you wish to subscribe and be notified of upcoming videos, then please subscribe. So this is Bill McFadden signing off from Tone Pure Music.